Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Simran and I'm so happy to see you here. Today's video is very casual and personal because I'll be sharing the lessons that I've learned over the pandemic, and these lessons have really helped me grow as a person. So I'm really hoping that they'll be useful to you and help you see our situation over the past year and a half in a different light. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. Lesson number 1. Adjustment takes time. Ever since university started, I'd be at home for a couple of weeks between semesters and then move out again. So in March 2020, I was forced back home, and needless to say, it was a huge adjustment period because it wasn't just an adjustment period for me, it was for my mom as well and my siblings. After a month or so, things started getting better. We started understanding each other more, and after that it was just a blast. I mean, we would still have fights and stuff, but it wasn't like crazy, you know? So the point is that we shouldn't judge a situation so quickly because adjustment really does take time. Give yourself 3 weeks to a month before coming to a conclusion about a new situation, because who knows, it might turn out to be the best decision you've made. Moving on, lesson number 2. Over time, people can actually change a lot. So I was living at home throughout the pandemic. It was only recently that I just moved out, but I started to meet up with people that I haven't seen in over a year. And I realized that the pandemic really forced people to grow. I mean, a lot can happen in a year and a half, even in normal times, but specifically in the pandemic, I feel like everyone went through a difficult time at one point or another. And because of that, we were forced to look at our life and judge it critically to see how we can improve it. From that, I realized that there really is no point in holding any grudges or ideas or judgments of people because they're just really not applicable anymore. Now, this could be a good or a bad thing. Good because you can give people a second chance, you can give them the benefit of the doubt and get to know them again, or forgive them and move on. Or it could be bad in the sense that you might realize that you've outgrown your friends and just aren't on the same level anymore. And that's okay. I mean, it's the harsh truth, but the sooner you accept it, the sooner you can let go of past relationships or friendships or any situations that might be holding you back. Moving on, lesson number 3. Social media only gives you a snapshot of someone's life. Now, the thing is, most people share the better parts of their life on social media. And I think at some point I forgot that during the pandemic. It was really easy for me to just sit on my phone, scroll Instagram, and compare 100% of my life to the best moments of other people's lives. At first, that was really depressing, but after a while I realized that I'm being very unfair to myself. It's almost irrelevant to do that. There's no point in putting yourself through those negative emotions unnecessarily. Alright, lesson number 4, and I think this is the most important lesson that I've learned. It is really important to separate yourself from a situation to understand it completely. I know this sounds really vague, but let me explain. Before March 2020, I was in some situations that I didn't know how to get out of. They were difficult situations, but quarantine pretty much forced me to get out of them and step away and assess them completely objectively. And I realized that when you're in the middle of a problem, it's really hard to be objective and make sound decisions. But if you separate yourself from it completely, you look at it from an outsider's perspective, you get a lot more clarity, you can make better decisions, and you can get yourself out of that rut. So that's certainly a point to remember moving forward. Lesson number 5. Who you're with matters a lot more than where you are. In first or second year, I remember telling my friends that after I graduate, I'm gonna move out of Canada, I'm gonna live somewhere else. Over the pandemic, I realized how important it is to surround yourself with your support network, because in difficult times, they're the ones that carry you through it. So for me, that is my family, and I realized that the pandemic would have been so impossible for me to get through had it not been for my family and me living at home. I realized that I want to keep that in the future. Alright, lesson number 6. Yes, 6. Your health matters a lot. Never in my life before have I come so close, face to face with the reality of how important it is for you to be healthy in order to beat the diseases around you. It's so important to prioritize your health and give yourself the best chance of survival for any disease that you might face, and just live a good quality of life. I think I've mentioned health in pretty much every single video I've made. Yeah. Anyway, last but not least, point number 7. I love this lesson because I think it's so eye-opening. Your happiness is less dependent on your external environment and more dependent on how you react to your environment. You don't necessarily have a lot of control over your external environment, but you have 100% control over how you react to it. For a long time during the quarantine, I would complain about things like, oh, I can't believe I have to be at home, I really want to go out, I'm so bored, I can't believe I have to do online school, I hate it, yada yada yada. It just went on and on and on. It was just a really negative mindset. I mean, it certainly did not make me a fun person to be around, that's for sure, but it also affected my happiness a lot. Like, I was genuinely very annoyed all the time. So once I realized that, I started to change my mindset. I actually started practicing gratitude. I would think things like, I'm so glad I have such a good co-op. I'm so glad that I have access to education. I'm so grateful for having such a good family to spend time with. So once I switched to that mindset, everything changed. Alright, so that pretty much sums up the big lessons that I've learned during the pandemic. I really hope you found it useful. Don't forget to hit the like button, and if you have any experiences that you want to share, I would love to know them, so comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.